The architecture of the Philippines is a reflection of the country's historical and cultural heritage. Most prominent historic structures in the archipelago are based on a mix of indigenous Austronesian, Chinese, Malay, American, and Spanish influences. During 330 years of Spanish colonization, the Philippine architecture was dominated by the Spanish influences. Grand churches, cathedrals, and bahay na bato style for the large houses emerged. After the Philippines was ceded to the United States as a consequence of the Spanish-American War in 1898, the architecture of the Philippines was dominated by American aesthetics. Neoclassical architecture and Art Deco buildings were introduced. In the late 20th century, modern architecture with straight lines and functional aspects was introduced, particularly in the brutalist architecture that characterized government-built structures done in the Marcos period. After the return of democracy in 1986, a new age of Philippine architecture came into focus through modernism. Early in the 21st century, a revival of the respect for the traditional Filipino elements in the architecture returned. Towns and cities were full of big buildings and bridges that occupies almost all the space in the city. This infrastructure serves as an interpretation in how big and fast the changes in our country occur, and that foreign countries that invade us were one of the main reasons to all of this. There are more than 50 million speakers of Tagalog in the Philippines, mostly in the southern parts of Luzon, the archipelago's largest island. Other dialects spoken in the Philippines include Cebuano, Ilocano, Waray-Waray, Hiligaynon, Pangasinan, Bicol, Maranao, Maguindanao, Tausug, and Kapampangan, but the official language, Filipino, is based on Tagalog. Tagalog had its own writing system based on an ancient script called the Baybayin that uses a syllabic alphabet which the Spanish colonialists romanized. Even the modern alphabet has been changed several times to incorporate foreign sounds from both Spanish and English. There are thousands of loanwords in Tagalog, particularly from Spanish, and the use of Taglish. The mixing of Tagalog and English is common, especially in urban areas. In both spoken and written Tagalog, English words are used alongside words of Spanish origin. In the early 20th century, Tagalog was selected to be the official language of the Philippines along with English. While Filipino is used for communication across the country's diverse linguistic groups and is used in popular culture, the government operates mostly using English. Including second language speakers, there are more speakers of Filipino than English in the Philippines.
Our country was colonized by the Spaniards during the year 1521 to 1898. Spain not only brought the Catholic religion to the Philippines, but it also brought with it its culture and its cuisine. And the impact of the Spanish influence to the Philippines is very much evident during special occasions such as fiestas, birthdays, Christmas, and New Year's. Most of these special occasion dishes trace their roots to the Spanish colonial days. When the Spaniards arrived, they brought with them ingredients and labor-intensive cooking methods that were unknown in the Philippines. Some of the popular dishes are the roasted whole pigs, which is also known as lechon here in the Philippines, adobo, which is a common ulam here in the Philippines, a fritada, meatball, arroz a la valenciana, and bistec. When the Spaniards came to colonize our country, they also brought with them their own fashion, which mostly consists of a shirt and standing collar. They also introduced to the natives how to wear shoes and hats. During this time, the Barong Tagalog was only used by the ilustrados with a high collar, lace, and gems as accent to the baro. In addition, the Tagalog women started to modify their traditional dress, barat saya, into a more conservative look with longer length of the skirt. The America also colonized our country, and during their time, they also have introduced to us their own fashion. Men were given the freedom to wear western suit and jackets, or Americana, while women should wore the terno dress with butterfly sleeves and panuelo, or the Filipino national dress. These are also the few types of clothing that America introduced to the Filipino culture: belts, polo shirts, short skirts and dresses, bonnets and hats, high heels, and suspenders. It was during and after the colonization time of the America that the progress of science and technology in the Philippines occurred. Science during the American period was strengthened towards agriculture, food processing, forestry, medicine, and pharmacy. New technologies were introduced to the country. These technologies helped the Philippines' industries and agriculture. Some of the technologies that the Americans introduced to our country are computers, laptops, cell phones, and x-rays. Nowadays, these technologies are widely used by the Filipinos that are very beneficial for the efficiency of their lives.